Cricket is a game of numbers, and here on Crickbuzz Live, the magic number is 17. It's approximately 17 minutes to midnight, and in the last over of that game, it was a 17-year-old who was given 17 runs to defend, and he did it. Young Mujib from Afghanistan, what a star, taking the Kings 11 Punjab over the line, and heartbreak for the Delhi Daredevils. So many talking points. Joy Bhattacharya, Simon Dool, we can breathe easy for a moment there.
Finally.
What a responsibility on the youngster.
Wow, if they cannot win that Delhi, they can't win another game. I'm sorry, that was brilliant from Mujib in the end. We were discussing captaincy issues, weren't we, Joy, in the back room about Ravi Ashwin. What was he doing? Did he get it right with Sran? He paid him back after a pour over in the 13th. He paid him back beautifully. Just nail-biting stuff from both sides.
I think it was, and the important thing was, you're right, I mean, he had no option. He was stuck with Sran. He had 5 bowlers. He had to bowl him early, and then somehow he got paid back. And again, the question was, would he have gone in the 19th with Mujib and kept 20th for Sran? Whatever it was the right decision. But I have one thing to say. Given this situation, one team making about 140 odd, another defending it, today a bowler has to be man of the match, right? Has to be.
You would hope so.
Well, we're going to hold our breaths on that one. But talking about low scores, this is not just a low score, folks. It's the lowest score ever defended in the history of matches at the Kotla. Of course, it's the lowest total defended in this year's IPL, but the lowest at the Kotla. It's a ground you associate with short boundaries, big hits, and if you don't score enough runs, you just don't feel right as a defending side.
Yeah, Ankit Rajput, outstanding, wasn't he, as well, up front, 2 for 23. Look at those 3 figures, 2 for 25 Mujib, 2 for 25 Andrew Ty. So they're key men doing a great job with the ball, and I mean, you feel for Shreyas Iyer, don't you? Terrific knock in response when everybody else just fell around him.
Yeah, have a look at that. The batting, the highest score till that point, till Iyer got a 50, was 34. That too of 32 balls from Karun Nair, and he was trying to get everyone to bat around him. Just that 150 and heartbreak. He had it pretty much in his own hands at the end. David Miller helping him out with a misfield, getting him back on strike. Everything seemed to be going their way just about. And yet, so near, so far.
So far. And in fact, when he connected, as Simon was saying, the connection was, I mean, the ball was there to be hit for a 6, exactly where he was supposed to hit it. He just didn't get enough power. And I think one of the theories he said was he was just not strong enough at that point.
He looked like he was cooked. He looked like he was tired. The weight of the Delhi, the weight of how many million? 8 million, 10 million, 12 million in Delhi on his shoulders that whole innings, and the poor young man, he just didn't seem like he had the strength, because it was there to go, and he just clothed a little bit, and Finch took a good catch. But yeah, look, I love these low scoring games though. A low scoring 2020 game is just as exciting as a 200 plays 210 to me.
It's like a Dan Brown was at your standard 180, 200. This is like a bit more of an Agatha Christie, twists and turns and plots, and it keeps going one way or the other. It's a very different experience.
I don't think it suits Delhi though, that ground. I don't think that pitch suits Delhi. I think they need to leave grass on it if they can get any say in it at all, and make it just a really good surface, and then it brings the likes of Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant and Prithvi Shaw. It brings those guys who love to play their strokes into the game. It also gives Trent Boult something to bowl with, and I think Chris Morris when he's back as well. So I don't think it suits their game playing on a low, slow surface, but gee, they've got to do something now.
Literature at its best. Yesterday, today was a Dan Brown thriller. Yesterday was a Jeffrey Archer thriller, or a Jofra Archer thriller, whichever way you want to put it.
It was an Agatha Christie. Lots of turns.
But the real talking point for the last 30, 35, 40 minutes was Ravi Ashwin and how he's going to use his bowlers in the last 6 or 7. So let's actually have a look at the bowling card for the Kings 11 Punjab, because I think that was the story of the match. And look at that, everyone contributing. Don't look at 11.25, the economy rate, because Brinder Sran went for 18 in his first over. It's really his last over, really, that gave only 4 runs that has to count. And everybody else, economy under 7. So overall, 5 bowlers, everyone contributed.
Yeah, but my big question was, and I think we debated this issue also, that if you have a situation where you're getting wickets, do you grab hold of the guy then and try and finish it then? And maybe not bowl Sran at all? Maybe you hold him back, and because you're in a situation where they're 5 down, you get another couple of wickets, they're dead. You get Shreyas Iyer and the game was over in the 14th, 15th over. So the point was, at some point, Ashwin decided that he'll bowl Strahan.
In the 13th.
Yeah,
13th,
and the pressure released. In the 13th and the 15th, the pressure released. They got about 15 odd runs. They got Delhi back into the game. And the question was at that point, should he have just gone with Mujib with another over a tie and tried to finish it off there? What would have happened though is, if they had survived and if they've got runs, then they would have been stuck with Strahan, maybe having Yuvraj to bowl and over to... So he didn't take the chance. It worked out for him. But yeah, he could have played it both ways.
Yeah, they won, but you'd have to say they got out of jail on that one.
But I think I like that. If Ravi Ashwin is prepared to take that on himself and say, well, if this was my option, this was my idea, that's what I would rather see than a Rohit Sharma, who is not prepared at times to take it on his shoulders and say, it's my choice, this is what I'm doing. I'm going out to bat now. Pollard, you sit down. You know, things like that. I want to see Ashwin captain like this, because he will own that. And if it had been wrong, if he'd been wrong at the end of this game, he would have owned it. And I firmly believe that. He's that sort of character. He would have stood up and said, yep, my decision. I made that choice. And it worked, or it didn't work.
I got it wrong.
Good point.
Yeah.
You could see there, even though there was a bit of a G8 summit, they had everybody in there, all the seniors, but you could see he was still in charge, because he looked at Strahan, he called him, patted him on the back and said, I'm trusting you. I forget what's happened in the past. Go for it.
I think though one of the sad things of today's match is to see the other captain today, and Gautam, to see Gautam like that. And it's not a question of the runs, you know, you can get out in a bad ball. It's just the way he played for his 12, 13 balls. He scratched around, didn't look good. I mean, I haven't seen him unhappy other than when he's in that Geo ad trying to dance. I mean,
You were waiting to bring that one out.
I mean, he cannot dance. So I mean, why should they even bother? I mean, but he looked.
He's 86 from 6 bats now, and I think the first game he got 50.
Yeah, he got runs only in the first.
In the first game, and so he just looks.
But
the strike rate is
it's that red and blue jersey at the moment. With the purple jersey, when you're talking about dancing, he would have the dancing shoes out to the spinners. Every time I remember playing for KKR, you know that spinners are just scared to bowl to him, because he'd be coming inside out over extra cover. He'd be 21 of 14, 15. Yes, not a huge strike rate, but in command, with Uthappa, Pandey at the other end.
Interestingly, they probably bowled Ankit up front because, okay, there was a bit of swing and there was a bit of it in the pitch, but also they knew that, you know, there's no point putting spinners in while, you know, Gautam was still going, but he just couldn't get going today. And it's more the nature of how he batted rather than, you know, his performance, which
and if it hadn't been his former captain, Ankit Rajput, against his former captain under pressure, I don't think he would have dared to do something like threaten to throw the ball at him. Oh, that was a moment.
Yeah, and the thing is now, where do they go? I mean, he didn't know the team. He only got 2 of the 5 changes at the toss. He wasn't sure about that. What do they do now? I mean, does he play? Does he play again? Did Delhi have the wherewithal about them to say, listen, GG, I'm sorry, it's not working. We're going to have to change captains. You're going to have to sit on the bench for a couple of games. 55.
That's why?
Yeah, 55. 15, 8, 3, 4. But look at the number of deliveries. 15 off 16, 8 off 7, 3 off 10, 4 off 13. That's the concerning thing, and I think that's what you're alluding to, Joy. It's just not good enough. For a team that needs wins, that needs their captain to be standing up, that is not good enough. So does he have the courage to say, listen, Ricky, I'm going to step aside here?
It's happened before.
with Ricky Ponting in Mumbai. Yeah, and he had to. They finally had to.
Yeah.
They stopped playing him. They won a championship that year. I don't think that will happen with Delhi, but at least, look, face it, all the teams are stuck with this nucleus of a team for the next 3 years at least. So if you have to make the best of it, at least you can say that, okay, fine, Gautam, you've had a great run, fantastic, be a mentor, step aside, let's get someone in, and let's have a situation where we build over the next couple of years. Give it to, in fact, if you see the kind of guys out there, I have something for, I feel Shreyas Iyer has that kind of, he's a kind of person who can take that responsibility.
Okay, one more I'll throw at you on Gautam Gambhir. Yes, option 1, possibly the courage to sit out, or maybe bat down the order, which you've been saying.
I feel Gautam can't bat down the order. Just the power to, you know, and Gautam always requires a bit to get going. He'll hit the spinners, but with 5 outside, Gautam, even the 125, 130 strike rate that he normally gets, if there are 5 out and the field is spread from the start when he's in, I think it won't be that easy for him. I think he has to be a role player and say that, you know, okay, good, Delhi, pick me. We're going to Calcutta. It's a pitch which is, you know, good for me. Pick me, don't pick me. Step back and say, okay, I am now at the disposal of the team to be used as and when they think necessary.
Run with Glenn Maxwell, perhaps. Captained Kings 11. He's an experienced player. I think he thrives on it. a little bit as well. I think he looks, he maybe it's good for him as a player and as a person when he's captaining the side. And so maybe that's an option. Look next year at a young player, at a Shreyas Iyer or someone like that to bring through, maybe in the Ranji season. But I think at the moment you want a leader, you want a guy who will stand up for you. If they're going to change it, I think it's got to be someone like Maxwell.
It's a bold suggestion there. We've got a couple of gentlemen. Simon Dool making the suggestion. Joy Bhattacharya has been in that dressing room with Gautam Gambhir. He knows him inside out. So you've made the suggestion. Do you see him doing it?
I think he will do anything. He's the ultimate team man. If he feels, if he genuinely feels he is not bringing enough to the team, he'll do it. The question is, what is, if in his mind he feels he still has something to say, if he still has some contribution to make, then he'll say, no, I'll stand up, I'm going to go and open. Forget the critics, forget all these people, what these people are talking about, I'm going to go and prove myself. That's Gautam. But if he thinks that, no, my time is over, Gautam is the first to turn around and say he's a quintessential team man. He's got many big runs where the team hasn't won any. He's been the unhappiest man around. So you don't associate him with selfishness. He will, if he does it, he'll do it from a situation of saying that I don't think I'm done as yet. I still have something going for me.
He has nothing to prove.
He has nothing.
He had nothing to prove to anybody, Gautam Gambhir. And as much as you very rarely see him smile. He is. I think he is a genuinely a team first man. Yeah, and I think, I don't know him as well as Joy does, but I just think that he looks to me like he wants the team to win. He wants the team to do well. So he has nothing to prove whatsoever. I believe that he would make the right choice.
Well, I remember doing a show with him, a corporate show with him, and the first thing he said was, because there are lots of questions coming from the audience, and the one thing he kept harping on, it's one thing to say it in a match scenario at a post-match presentation, but when you're sitting back with well, he wasn't quite wearing a tie, but he had the smart jacket on, and the only thing he kept saying is that, look, if you give me a century but a loss, or you give me a duck and a win, I'll take the win any day.
Absolutely, and he was a kind of player, you know, when you have captains in the IPL, you have very different types. So, you know, Dhoni is captain, cool. With Gautam, it was, I'll take a bullet for you. So sincerity is his hallmark. His hallmark is the fact that he's willing to take a bullet for you. He wants a team who's willing to take, where teammates are willing to take bullets for each other. And so I don't see him, I think he's right, he'll make the right decision, whatever it is.
I can tell you what, it's going to be a great thing to be a fly on the wall in that dressing room tonight. There's going to be lots coming out of it. There's going to be lots of traffic jams getting out, 22,000 plus at the Kotla. It's not an easy place to get into or get out of.
Have they fixed that metro? Is the metro working outside the stadium yet?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is working.
Is the road 2 lanes again? Is it all okay?
It's getting better, but there's still a little bit of congestion. It's not the widest road. It's not like Gurgaon where Joy and I live.
Okay.
So they're getting there.
All right.
Delhi's getting there.
Getting there.
About the next 30-40 years.
We're going to get into trouble for this one.
I love going to Delhi. I love going to Delhi because I'm a golfer. And there's 4 or 5 fantastic golf courses in Delhi to play, and we get looked after so well.
Come across the border, we'll look after you in Gurgaon.
I've been to Gurgaon. Been to Gurgaon as well, and played golf. But I love going to Delhi. But that stadium, getting in and out of that stadium,
Getting in and out of the DDCA is just as tough.
Joy, should we get a stadium done in Gurgaon?
Yeah, we should get a stadium.
Have we talked about that?
We have a stadium in Gurgaon, but that's in a bit.
We have one, we just need to get one better for. Okay, let's have a look at the. Okay, now before we look at the points table, I think it's time for it's drum roll time again.
Ooh.
Because
the man of the match.
Simon Dool, it's going to be the toughest decision. Okay, go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ankit Rajput! The bowler gets the man of the match.
Outstanding behaviour. Who selected that? I don't know, but I don't care.
2 for 23 in his 4 overs. We knew
Big wickets up front.
Plunkett was the front runner if Delhi had won. Perhaps even Shreyas Iyer had he hit a 6 of that last ball.
Had he taken his team over.
Yeah.
But
15 dot balls. And the genuine pace is one thing we talked about. 148.7 I think was his quickest delivery tonight. So he's got genuine pace. And this is another thing about this tournament and about where the young Indian quick bowlers are. They're not medium paces anymore. 15, 20 years ago, apart from maybe a Javagal Srinath who was genuine pace, there was medium pace around India. Now, it is quick bowler after quick bowler.
Yeah.
Umesh Yadav. I mean, you're looking at Bumrah. We've seen Mavi coming through now. This young man tonight, there's another 4, 5, 6 that I'm forgetting about. Siddharth Kaul gets it through. Nagakoti gets it through. They're just, this is a good thing. Young kids in India want to bowl fast now. They don't want to be little medium paces. There's a little bit in some of the surfaces around the country in first-class cricket. Deepak Chahar, another one. So there's enough in some of these grounds where they can get something out of it. They want to bowl quick. Gotta love it.
And I think to add to that, today it was just the attitude. We mentioned one bit of Ankit Rajput where he was having a go at his former captain Gautam Gambhir, but also seeing Virender Sran get smashed for 18 runs by Prithvi Shaw. He held his own at one end, got the wicket, kept things tight at one end, and that was suddenly Delhi starting to wonder, small total, is it kind of out of reach? That's where the questions were being asked.
No, absolutely. And even Sran, when he came in for that 19th over, all these guys around him, and then there's a moment where he turns and says, guys, I've got it.
Yeah.
There was a certain calmness to him which was fantastic, and it was really, he wasn't looking as if it was the end of the world. What am I doing with this ball in my hand? And that's fantastic, because what is great about the IPL is it produces heroes out of these kids. I mean, even Shreyas Iyer, look at how far he's taken it. He was a hero today, and he didn't lose because he couldn't do it. He just lost because maybe he didn't have the energy or whatever. But these guys are playing fearless cricket. That's fantastic.
Sran, the boxer, is he the guy that did a bit of boxing or not? Who was the?
Yes,
he
was.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He did a little bit of boxing as a youth. I think so. He's got some, he's got some fight in him. He wanted the ball. He wanted to bowl it. He knew he'd been taken to, but he wanted the ball. And in that situation, you have to want the ball. You've got a guy at Kolkata right now in Tom Curran. He wants the ball. I talked about Krunal Pandya earlier. He wants it in tough situations. Those are the kids you want.
Well, I can tell you something. We have lots of you out there writing to us on Twitter, hashtag CricBuzzLive. But the entire bowling fraternity, if you want to win a Man of the Match award, write to us, tag Simon Dool in it, just to make sure he's on Crickbuzz Live, because you stand a better than even chance of winning Man of the Match award. Rashid Khan, Umesh Yadav, Ankit Rajput, the list will grow, Simon.
It will, and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep fighting for the bowler.
I can
That's what
see
we're doing.
all
We're going
those
to fight
dressing
for the
rooms where
bowler.
all the players are coming out quickly with their iPhone 10s and quickly sending it. What is it, Crickbuzz Live? Okay,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The bowlers are coming back this IPL. They're back into it.
Points
Good.
table. Let's have a look at the points table, and it's the bowler who's responsible for the fact that the first team to get into double digits are the Kings 11 Punjab, and what will make them most happy is not the first 8 points but the next 2 points, because they've won it with their bowlers. The first 4 victories have really come with Chris Gale, KL Rahul smashing it all over. Bowlers, middle order, didn't even need to come to the party. Now it's almost like a complete 10 points. They'll be delighted about that. MIDD, lots of thinking to do. Mumbai Indians coming back in less than 24 hours time at their home ground. But Delhi Daredevils, lots of thinking to do. But Punjab, they'll be happy with not just the victory, but the fact that now everyone's contributed.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Sorry,
I mean,
Luke, yeah.
no, absolutely. Just to have this is a big win for them. And as we were talking, there's a couple of wins which have been, dramatic wins for team, but also team building wins. CSK's first.